Yeah. So like in one area that I'm thinking about in particular, like it's near an area that very beautiful, lake behind there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fence off the lake. Lake still public access. Go out there. There's a golf course out there. There's ducks. It's natural habitat. And so, but the whole area around it, you used to having tech, as long as I've been down there, they've had tech companies around there, but this was a
Right.
part of the public space that people could walk trails, they could cut through, and they fence it off. And it's really it's a really beautiful field and adult playground.
Mm-hmm.
But what it made me think about is, when we were growing up, you could find a park in almost every neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every neighborhood in the city had a big park. You could go out there, you could hoop, you could play flag football, you could see softball games, whatever. And I understand there's a responsibility the company would take if somebody got hurt on that. But, if you're investing in the community, then invest in having security there, invest in having your people. Give a job to somebody in the community if you want to make sure that hey, you're responsible. Your job is going to be to make sure it's locked up at 10 o'clock, opened up at 9, whatever, right? But rather than pay $15, $20 an hour for somebody to do that,
Mm-hmm.
they just put a lock on it and only our employees can use it. And I think there's something wrong about that when you're taking up so much real estate,
Right.
and your presence is driving up the cost of living for what was once a bedroom community. So I wanted to ask you a question. What do you think these tech companies' responsibility is to the communities that they move into?
I think the responsibility is to invest in the community, and that's not how you do it. So I think, let me ask you this: you said that they fence it off and lock it. So is it a situation where the employees have badges and they're bad? They can swipe their badge and they can get in.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So how hard would it be to program that lock to from dusk to dawn? Only our employees can get in, right? It's locked. It's not open. So, but during the day, summertime, spring break, like we're dealing with right now, kids in the neighborhood, they're walking by, they want to play basketball, they can just walk in. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How hard would that be? You still don't have to pay $15, $20 an hour for somebody to be out there to open it up, to close it. It's just a matter of resetting the program on the lock. I think it's unfortunate because I think it's almost this is why people don't like gentrification, right? Because this is the type of stuff that people are afraid of. So you have kids who've probably been in this community for however long. You've walked up and down these streets, you rode your bikes through these neighborhoods, whatever the case may be. You've rode through these open spaces, and then all of a sudden now some company comes in and says, "Oh no, this is not free to you. You can't use this area anymore. This is my neighborhood. This is my, as a kid, that's how you're feeling. This is my stuff, So then all of a sudden there builds that animosity where it's like us against big business, right? That develops that whole type of thing. Whereas if the company would just take a different approach, you could build value in the community and gain support from the community at the same time. And I think it would be a win-win for everybody. So I just think it's a missed opportunity to grow together. And you kind of drawing battle lines instead of building relationships, in my opinion.
That's my concern, is that I think and what we've talked before, we were talking about politics, and it's stirred in me is a desire to get involved in raising that awareness. Because I think sometimes we rush to react and do what you and I do, right? We'll talk about it right now and steady be steaming underneath the surface,
right?
But then go and find a way to adapt, right? But I think in light of what we talked about, and I believe it was the last episode of Health 360 where we asked the question, will the gyms change? Will there be a new experience? And for some of the things that, now that we are into going outside and still want to do outside, we've got to require more. And I think the way to require more is getting involved. And so what it stirred in me is I think I want to get involved in finding a way to put it out there, to make them aware. Look, are you mindful of what the perception is? Like, even if this is not your heart, now maybe it is your heart, but are you mindful that this is the perception? And if you aren't, This is the perception, and
Right.
this is a suggestion on how we can do something about it. But I'm open to yours, because I do believe, I think more is done if you're not just seen coming by the community, giving out ice cream cones at the local Baskin Robbins to school kids, or showing up dropping off laptops. Those things are great, and I don't think they should stop. But I think when you open up your opportunity, say, hey, we're providing an opportunity for you to come and be around our culture, to experience it. We're not just here buying up real estate. We're here helping to improve your experience. And hey, by the way, since we are a multi-billion-dollar global company, we can afford to have somebody keep it clean, to make sure it's safe. Willie the wino is not going to be up here drinking on a 40 while you're out here playing, and you don't have the risk of these things happening. Right. That's responsible to me, right? And I think that can be done.
Well, and I think that's what's lost a lot today is the fact of sharing and sharing alike, right? So a company comes into a area that's not their home, but they've been there for quite a while now, but it's not their home innately. And you come into this community and you uproot things, right? So you can uproot things and just be a menace, or you can uproot things and change them for the better, right? So this particular company has the opportunity to change for the better. I think, when you talk about they have enough money where they can hire somebody to keep it clean or keep it tidy or whatnot, you just provided a job, probably for somebody in that community. So that's how you invest. You know what I'm saying? That's how you show, hey, we're a part of, we're here. We understand. We're respecting your space. We're respecting you as a people. We're respecting you as a community. You'll probably get more respect in return as an organization from that community. You know what I mean? So I just think it has to go hand in hand. We can't have this whole mentality of he who has the most. But again, it's a business. We got to go back to that. It's a business, and you say it so well, so eloquently. America is a business, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that right here. We have the money. We can do what we want, and you can't do anything about it. And unfortunately, that's the attitude of a lot of people.
I go back to the story of years ago, probably my first or second year of marriage. I would go late afternoon. You get off around 4:30, and there was American Century had an office over in this same area, and in the back part of the parking lot they had 8 courts. 8 courts. And so I would go out there because I could shoot around. I used to love to shoot around just on my own before I go home, whatever, or go home, change, go back, shoot around for an hour or so. And the American Century guys would come out and they would hoop at the end of the day, right? They would come out, had little things. And so one day, I don't know if they were short or not, but they were like, hey, bro, you want to join us and play? I'll go up and down the court with you guys. And man, it turned out to be so cool. So mind you, this open area that everybody in the area could use. Nobody was coming by with a golf cart. Let me see your badge. Like it was just, and we would play. I forged some really good relationships with the guys there. And we were sharing in kind of the experience of being in Silicon Valley, working hard, understood one another, coming from different walks of life. Some dudes lived in the East Bay. And the hoop was great because it allowed them to decompress from the day's work before they got on the road in a long commute home. Other guys were on the upward swing. I've been here about 2 years on my grind, still learning the Valley. And all coming together around a shared love, common bond for that. So I think there's a missed opportunity. And it's an opportunity that we can take advantage of with the conversation. So I'm going to get involved and I will update you on that.